For the next section of this video, let's go ahead and add the terrain or the plot plan for this house. I'm going to close down the 3D view, and in my layers, I've got my default set. And again, Chief Architect's layer base. You can choose a variety of layers you can turn on or off, and you can add your own custom elements and put them on your own layer. You can also choose between layer sets and then turn things on or off. For example, we have a framing set or an electrical set, and just allows you to quickly turn on all of the layers for that specific view that you're after. I have a layer set that's a default called the plot plan. I'm going to change to the plot plan, and you'll notice that it turns off all of our interior elements and leaves the walls without color. It also leaves on the roof planes. I'm going to zoom out here, and I'm going to switch my toolbar set up here to the terrain configuration. With the terrain configuration, I'm going to create our perimeter, and it will automatically place that in there. And I'm going to roughly come in here and create a terrain perimeter that may be somewhere in the range of 125 feet. Let's click on this dimension here. Set that to be 125 feet. And let's go ahead and let's just center that on our house for now using our center tool. And then the other dimension, let's go ahead and set that to be 140 feet. And we'll just make it a little wider so we can put a road out in front of the design. We'll just pull that so it's a little bit further ahead so we have room to add that road. So once the terrain perimeter is in place, the next thing I'm going to do is double click on it, and I'm going to remove the auto calculate, because one of the things that we're going to want to do, let's take a look at our photo here. We're going to want to slope our terrain from right to left with a gradual slope so we can replicate the plot plan for the house that we have here in the photo. So to do that, I'm going to use my terrain elevation tool, and I'm going to draw an elevation line down this side, and we'll just leave that at our default, which would be at the same level as the base terrain. And then I'm going to come over here and draw another line. And this is the line that I'm going to double click and open up. And I'm going to lower the elevation. So again, it slopes downward. And I'm going to set that to -4 feet. And now we should be able to take a 3D view and see what this looks like. Choose our overview camera here. And let's go ahead and zoom in here. So you can see that we've got the terrain sloping the way we want it. And now we can go ahead and add our stairs up to the doorway, and we'll also place a road. So close our 3D view here. I'm going to use my road tool, and I'm just going to drag a road through here. That way we can see it in our 3D view, and I'll just pull that back a little bit. And then I'm also going to use sidewalk, pull that through here. Move this sidewalk a little bit closer to the front door, and then we'll also draw one more sidewalk that would come back from the entry. So let's just drag one more back here. And then I'm going to use my stair tool. Let's pull our road back a little bit closer too. I'm going to use my stair tool, and we'll create a set of steps down from the front porch. So I'm just going to come in here and click to place those stairs. It will automatically attach to the terrain. Let's go ahead and make these a little bit wider. And maybe we can do the same thing here with the sidewalk as well. I'm not going to worry too much about this being exact because we're going to add a covered porch when we do our second floor, and we'll go back in and change this. So I've got my basic plot plan in place, and if I take a 3D view, we should be able to see the road, the sidewalk, the stairs, and with Chief Architect, any of these objects that you place on the terrain will automatically follow them, so you can see the road and the sidewalk have both followed the slope of our terrain. You can use pathway tools, we can do our plants and our landscaping, and in between, as we move on in the video, I'll go ahead and add some of those, but we have over 4,000 plants in the library with a plant chooser. We'll go ahead and open that up now. I'm going to add a few landscaping plants in here. I'm going to open up the library, and inside the library we actually have a plant chooser. And with the plant chooser, if I just press search here, you're going to find a little over 7,200 items that have come up in this case. I can search by common or scientific name. You can search by color, by bloom time, height, maturity. You can search by zone map, change the location you're at, find the zone, use that. You can also search by type, subtype, and really a variety of options. I'm going to search for a tree ponderosa, and we'll come in here and select one of them. So I have a few options here. I'm going to close my plant chooser now that it's taken me to this location in the library, and we may just perhaps click and place a couple of these trees. Sometimes it's a little longer to place them in a 3D view. You may find that doing it in a 2D view is a little bit more efficient. So I'm going to close that down, and let's turn on our plants in this layer set here so we can see where we're placing these items. So I'm going to go ahead and position that tree, and I'm going to copy that over here, and then maybe we'll put an adult ponderosa in, and we'll just put a couple of these in back in here. Each one of these plants you can open up and you can specify the information and the size. If we go into the plant information, you can see that you've got now for this specific plant maturity information, the age at maturity, and there's a feature that you can use in the program to grow the plants. So I can select that toolbar here, and again you can get a slider in here and so you can mature your plants. If we take and go back into our 3D overview, we can say the way that these trees look. We placed a couple of large trees, so you can come in here and add a little bit of variety. You can select those trees, pull them down, or you could open up, double click on them, and make the different changes you're after. If you need to create a plot plan for your house, you can easily do that and show that in the view. I'm going to turn off my plants so we don't see those trees. And let's say that we want our setback to be, and actually let's go ahead and turn off our terrain lines as well. Let's find our terrain contours. We'll turn those off here. Clean it up a little bit. So in this case, we want our plot plan setback to be 10 feet. So I'm going to draw a line in here, and I'm just going to simply type in 10 feet. So now that's set to be 10 feet off the edge. And I could continue around with that line and create a setback line. I can also use my CAD box tool and simply come in here and let's go ahead and draw, snap into that line. And I'm just going to drag a box roughly to the road. I'm not going to go past the road. And once I have that box in place, I can highlight it. And then I can concentrically copy that or move it in actually by holding down the Control and C key. So let's just go ahead and pull that in. And once I snap onto the line, then I've got my setback positioned. Let me tab in here and I'm going to just delete the line that we drew. So here's our setback. And if you want to open that up, double click on it. We can come in here, we can change the color of it. And we'll just pick a blue. And we'll also change the line style. We'll go with a dashed line. If you want to change the line weight, you can either set it here, you can also go into the layer and set the layer for that. So there's a setback, and if you want to get a little more sophisticated with your plot plans, we have an example on our website. Let me maximize this view for you. You can show the utilities, you can show the driveway, terrain walls. You can combine a 3D rendering with the before the construction, after the construction, and then you can put any of the notes and erosion controls that you may want to. If you want to get a closer look at this, again, see our website. We have this as a sample plan and also the images to do that.